Get your money right. We've been talking about spiritual and political empowerment, but I also realize that many of you picked up this book in order to learn about concrete steps you can take toward financial empowerment. Far from being separate, these issues are actually closely related. The most important step you can take toward financial empowerment is the spiritual investment of empowering someone else first. That's always the best investment you can make. Having said that, I want to speak directly on financial empowerment since there's a real hunger out there for this sort of information. That hunger is why the Hip Hop Summit is so focused on its Get Your Money Right tour, which features rappers speaking directly to hip hop fans about how to get their financial house in order. It's been a huge success, mainly because we've been blessed to be able to pick up the phone and call a Nelly, an Eminem, or a Beyonce, and have them come out and speak about this issue in a way that's credible and in a language that their fans can understand. And for young people not only to hear this message of fiscal responsibility, but to have it sink in is incredibly empowering. This message is particularly important because the schools aren't teaching young people how to have a stable financial relationship with the world. The schools aren't teaching our youth about credit. They're not teaching them what a FICO score is. They're not teaching them about how to rebuild their credit if they've gotten into trouble. They're not teaching them about predatory lenders or about how to get a legitimate loan either. They're not teaching them about building equity. Even though we know our young people are going to be bombarded with offers for credit cards and loans while they're developing financial habits that could hurt them in the future, we still don't share this information with them. And because of that lack of instruction, too many young people fall into a cycle that promotes spending and debt instead of saving and strong credit. Many end up making mistakes with their money, mistakes that they then spend a lifetime trying to make up for. That's why we're working so hard to change their perception of personal finances. We're going to deal with the larger issues of financial literacy empowerment in this chapter. Make money to make more money. When it comes to financial empowerment, the first thing the hip hop nation must realize is that it's already empowered. Every year, it pumps billions of dollars into the economy. That's real power, but only if it's used wisely. The problem is that hip hop just isn't using that purchasing power to invest in things that tend to increase in value. Instead, the majority of that money is spent on toys like televisions, cars, clothes, and jewelry. And while those kinds of toys are fun, they don't grow in value. That's why we're encouraging young people to spend their money on things that can grow into even more money, like real estate, stocks, and even small businesses. You might feel great after you buy a 40-inch TV for your apartment, but you'll feel even better when you buy a smaller TV instead, then put the money you saved toward owning your apartment. So while it's cool to buy a CD from your favorite rapper, if you save a little every month and get your money right, maybe you can start your own label. And one day, your favorite rapper might be recording for you. Emphasize owning. As a community, we still focus too much on renting and leasing. I know those often seem like the only options, but if you clean off your lenses, you will see that you can obtain anything when you're smart with your money. You'll see that you can empower yourselves by putting more emphasis on ownership. Rightly or wrongly, the world caters to people who own things. It doesn't cater to people who rent things or lease things or put them on layaway. If you own your home, you get a tax break. If you make your mortgage payments on time, your credit score goes up, and then you can buy even more property. If you own your own home, you get more respect from your neighbors, from the cops, from the politicians, from everyone. It might not be right, it might not be fair, but it's a reality that we can't hide from. When you own the things that are a priority in your life, you're a player in this game. But when other people own them and then sell them back to you, you're usually going to get played. Thankfully, an emphasis on ownership is already becoming a bigger part of hip-hop's message. So many artists are now talking about being a CEO instead of just being a rapper. That's a great cultural shift. Previously, rappers usually talked about how they deserved a deal from a record label, but now they're focused on owning their own labels. They've seen the examples set by people like Jay-Z, Damon Dash, 50 Cent, Master P, and Cash Money, and they know that they can be the ones handing out the deals instead of the ones looking for a handout. And that's another important sign of empowerment. Past the bling, I want to take a moment to address the perception that somehow rappers aren't appropriate role models for fiscal responsibility. In the eyes of some critics, hip-hop promotes a world that's filled with fancy cars and bling, the kind of lifestyle that's unobtainable for most people. Therefore, it's hypocritical for rappers to come to the summits and encourage young people to save and be smart with their money. Well, to those who say we're promoting an unobtainable lifestyle, I ask, how the hell is it unattainable? I achieved that lifestyle, and I don't come from privilege. Ludacris got it, and he doesn't come from privilege either. Just like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Nas, T.I., Eminem, and so many other artists who came up in the struggle have managed to obtain it too. The cars and the jewelry aren't meant to make you feel bad about yourself or to drive you into debt. Instead, they're meant to inspire you. They're a way of saying that you can do it too. That with hard work, dedication, and faith, anyone can do it. But while we understand the aspirational significance of those toys at the Hip Hop Summit, we're also encouraging young people to look past the bling. Because when most people watch a hip hop video, they only see the cars and the jewelry. What they don't see is the accountants and managers working behind the scenes to make sure that there's enough money to buy those toys. So while rappers seem to be spending unlimited money in their videos, in real life, many of them are very responsible with their money. Certainly, LL Cool J wouldn't be where he is after 20 years in the game if he was reckless with his money. JL wouldn't make Vanity Fair's power list if he didn't have a financial plan. Puffy wouldn't be able to simultaneously run companies like Bad Boy and Sean Jean if he was blowing all his money in toys. It's very important for these young people to understand that many rappers are using their minds to find ways to make even more money. It seems like almost every rapper that attends a summit has an amazing story to tell about the business ventures he's involved in. When Paul Wall came to one of our Houston summits, he talked about how he actually just raps for fun. His real money comes from ventures like designing custom-made gold teeth or grills for celebrity clients. Similarly, Ice Cube broke down how, while he played around with a little bit of money as a rapper, he made his real fortune producing his own movies. It's very important for young people to realize that their heroes aren't one-dimensional when it comes to finances. It's very important for young people to realize that their heroes aren't one-dimensional when it comes to finances. It's important for them to understand that 50 Cent is making so much money off his endeavors in his video games that he never has to sell another record as long as he lives. So even if 50's videos seem to promote lavish spending, the reality is much different. He's actually a disciplined businessman who doesn't play around his money. That's the real message that these heroes are sharing at the summits. It might not be a message that's been promoted as loudly as the bling, but it's definitely getting louder.